EastEnders, has Eve Unwin left the show? EastEnders spoilers follow from Thursday's BBC iPlayer episode. Some viewers may prefer to avoid these story details, as the episode hasn't yet aired on BBC One. EastEnders aired more dark scenes in today's episode, as the aftermath of Nish's discovery had devastating consequences for Suki and Eve. Nish uncovered the truth about Suki and Eve's affair earlier in the week, when he watched CCTV footage of their clandestine meeting in the Minute Mart. Suki and Eve had planned to run away together, after finally reuniting last week. Unfortunately, Nish's discovery changed everything, and now it appears the popular couple may have been torn apart for good. Wednesday's tense scenes saw Eve walk into Nish's trap when he texted her on Suki's phone, requesting to meet. Eve was shocked to be greeted by Nish, and after a furious argument, revealed all about her and Suki's romance and their plan to leave together. When Eve tried to leave, a furious Nish lashed out and attacked her. As Suki waited for Eve at the station, Nish called on Ravi and asked him to help put an end to Eve once and for all. Ravi grappled with Nish's demands in today's episode, which is available to watch on BBC iPlayer, and initially refused to hurt Eve further. As always, Nish managed to coerce Ravi into helping regardless, and they soon headed to the woods. In the woods, Eve came back around, where she begged Ravi for her life in harrowing scenes. Eve reminded Ravi that this was all being driven by Nish, and that he would be tied to his evil dad forever if he went through with taking her life. With Eve's words ringing true, Ravi found himself unable to go through with it, but instead told Eve to disappear, and never return. Ravi insisted that both Suki and Stacy would end up dead if she ever returned to Walford, or made contact with Suki. Ravi did tell Eve that this was the only solution, given they both knew what Nish was really capable of. Terrified, Eve ran off into the distance, and Ravi later told Nish that he'd done what he was told, and Eve was dead. But is that the last we will see of Eve? Sadly, it looks like it might be for the time being at least. That's because Eve is not mentioned in any of the spoilers for next week, and Suki has been led to believe that she has simply backed out of their escape plan. Upcoming episodes will explore Suki's heartbreak over Eve's disappearance, while Stacy will undoubtedly become confused by her sudden radio silence as well. The good news, however, is that it's definitely not the end of the story. Suki, as we know, is one of the main players in this year's Christmas episode, which will see her, Denise, Stacy, Sharon, Linda and Kathy all faced with a dead body. This would imply that Suki's story runs all the way to Christmas, especially given that Nish and Ravi have both been potential death victims from very early on. We also know how committed both Balvinder Sopal and Heather Peace, who play Suki and Eve respectively, are to this story, suggesting that an unresolved ending such as this is unlikely. Taking to Instagram on Wednesday night, after Nish's big discovery aired, Heather said, "Suki reveal day. The secret is out, Nish knows. I love this story and the time and care that's been taken by all the team at BBC EastEnders. Suki's story has resonated with so many from what I've seen. The representation has meant a lot too through Eve presenting the way she does. So many thanks to the writers and producers for playing this story out in real time. It's been a precious thing, certainly for me, having not seen a love story like this when I was growing up. I feel blessed to have worked alongside so many beautiful actors too who also care about storytelling." Heather has also said previously, "I think with the way these two are, it's such a meeting of souls, that even if Suki absolutely says that is it, if they are along together in a space and the signs are all there, Eve is always going to be dragged back in because it's the love of our life. I just don't think these two women can keep apart no matter how hard they try, they are not going to be able to keep apart. That is how Bal and I have played the whole thing all the way along. They tried desperately not to at points, but unless one of them moves abroad, they will just keep going round in circles." Balvinder has also previously shared her own thoughts on the story, saying, "I think there is something really exciting about keeping the audience hanging on a little bit. We're also trying to tell a truthful story for people in the LGBTQ+ community and the Southeast Asian community too. We are dealing with it very sensitively, and the only way to do that is to tell the story slowly and unravel it bit by bit. Things that are worth holding on to take a long time to unravel. Earlier this year, Heather and Balvinder won a prestigious Rainbow Honor for Suki and Eve's story.
Xin chào các bạn đã quay trở lại với kênh Spoiler. Vừa rồi các bạn đã theo dõi một